Hello, I'm Sonia, and welcome to Red Cardinal Kitchen. And today I'm going to show you how to make spiced apple dessert. So come right back and I'll show you how it's made. And welcome back. Be sure to subscribe, share, and click that bell to help bring more videos to you. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a honey yogurt topping. So in goes some nice yogurt. This one is plain, fat-free. Use any kind. Alright. And then I have some honey. And I believe it Clover, I forget which brand I bought. Might be a blend of honeys from around. But it's very tasty. And then I'm going to add a half teaspoon of vanilla. So I think I'm gonna use my wire whip. Get the job done faster. Alright, that's all there is to that. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's nice and fresh. So now it's going to go into the refrigerator, and then I'm going to set up for the second part of our video. So we'll be right back. Alright, and welcome back. So while I have my topping, yogurt honey topping in the fridge, chilling, we can move on to the next step. So I have a hot skillet here, and we are going to make a caramel sauce. So the first thing is I'm going to put in some butter, and I'm making this recipe for 4 people. Now I want that butter to get a little bit of a color to it, brown but not burned. Okay, now I'm going to add, I have molasses and sugar, part granulated and parts blended to make my brown sugar. Otherwise you can just use it already prepared from the grocers. Okay, we'll get this all melted, get it going. Keep stirring, it will burn. Trying to get the sugar all blended in. Okay, and now I am going to put some white or light corn syrup in. Now, you can see the difference here. It's starting to look like a candy almost. And to that, now I'm going to add just a little water at a time. I don't want this to turn into a hard stage. I want it to stay creamy and smooth. So there's not a whole lot of cooking time. That was plenty of water, just to keep it from getting too thick on me. Just let it, I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. Bring the heat back. Now you can go ahead and fiddle with the sides where the granulated or brown sugar is, because we're not making a candy, so it's just a nice little sauce. So I want it to get just a little thicker. Okay, that's good enough. And the next step, I'm going to put in some white distilled vinegar, or you can use apple vinegar. Gives a nice little balance. Also holds all of the sauce together. It doesn't separate. It gives it that nice creamy firmness yet soft caramel sauce. Okay, now it's going too fast, so I'm going to turn it down again because I don't want the caramel to burn. Now I'm going to add a half teaspoon of vanilla. So that's about 2 to no more than 4 minutes. If you see it starting to thicken too much, then just add just a little bit of water. Alright, now I'm going to turn the heat off. Kind of let it start to die down. And I'm going to add, this is almond milk. You can use cream or evaporated milk. And as it cools, this will get a lot thicker. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this into a container, and we'll be back for the third step. All right, and I'm back. So I have the honey yogurt topping still chilling, and that was the first thing we made, and then the caramel sauce. And now we're going to move on to the next step, step number 3, to this beautiful spiced apple dessert. I have a hot skillet. The first thing I want to do is put some butter in my hot skillet. Now this is a very rich dessert, so you don't have any business eating it if you're on watching your calories. Or do what I do and eat something decadent once a week. Alright, so the butter, I want to get a little bit of color on it. I always like to have color on my butter. when I'm cooking. Okay, that's kind of, bring it up just a little bit. About a medium low here. All right, now I'm going to add just some rolled oats. You can use instant, the 1 minute oat. You can use that. I thought I had this up high enough. Go now, it'll really get pie. All right, so I'm going to toast this up and I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So I have my oats browned for the brown butter oat topping. Now, next thing I want to do is add a little bit more butter. I'll move the oats aside in my skillet, and I'm going to add all of the flour, 1/2 cup, and 1/3 cup of oats. Now I'm not making a roux, I'm just wanting to cook the flour a little bit, although it is going to go into the oven when we get done. Just want to give it a head start because I'm using my emerald oven, and I will be putting it down to a lower setting, and so it's 350 if you're using an oven, at 325 if you're using a toaster oven or what is the French fries that we do?
Air fries.
Air frying. I couldn't think of it. So an air fryer oven is what it's called. A 360? Emerald 360. I am not sponsoring anybody at all. So when you hear me say a name brand, just know that I'm not sponsoring anyone. But this is what I use. Okay, so I can smell the nuttiness from the flour. Next, I want to add some brown sugar. And get it kind of melty into that crumb a little. Takes a little bit of wrist action and stirring. Seems like everything I do is I stir my life to death. But that's how I feed my family. All right, and then I have spices. And you'll get all the measurements, everything that I use into my recipe. Okay, once the sugar starts to get a little melty and starts clinging to the oats and that flour, and there's one ingredient I need to get. I need to get me a pinch of salt. One pinch. All right. Because it has to taste good. All right. Now I'll let this cool, and if there's some of the sugar that it's not quite clinging to the oats and flour, once it cools, you can just take your fingers and finish crumbling it up. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go away and I'm going to come back to make the apple filling. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So we're on the fourth step. The first step was the honey yogurt topping. The second step was the caramel sauce. The third step was the brown butter oat topping. And now we are going to make an apple filling. So we'll get started. I have 4 apples here. Can you recognize 2 Granny Smith and 2 Golden Delicious? So I'm going to take, we'll peel one, and I want to peel it in my bowl. Peel the other side, or you can go like this, I suppose. And then there's a bruise. That's why we've got to make it this way. Ooh, one overboard. I have made this dessert with the peelings left on, but sometimes they have wax, and so I omit that. Right now I'm going to cut my apple in half. I want to do it, turn it over so I don't roll, so it doesn't roll, and slice down, and then I put those 2 down, and right in the middle of that core. There we go. And then you can see what I have left, and you can just take your potato peeler, and I don't waste much of my fruit, so that, not just maybe those little fuzzy wuzzies. There, that's good enough. It's gonna all get cooked up. All right, and oh, a paring knife, of course. And I just kind of, and then I go away from myself and pop it out. Down, and pop it out. Don't go in very far because you have a hand behind it. Just pop it out. And you can save these cores, and you can put water and boil them down and get a nice apple broth. Alright, so these will be washed, but first I'm going to cut them first. And so what I like to do is I just turn it over and cut this way. I'll do it again. You can do them thick sliced or thin sliced, like a little bit more thicker, so that when they cook, they're a little chunkier in my dessert. Alright, so I have 1 done. I've got 3 to go, and we'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. Will I have my apples peeled and cored and sliced? And they were sitting in some lemon water. Just a little bit of lemon to the water keeps them from turning brown. All right, so I'm just about ready here to. I have a hot skillet waiting to do this. Okay, last those guys. Here we go. Hot, always hot, hot and ready. Sounds like a burger place, doesn't it? All right. I couldn't save the lemon water because that was also my rinse water. So I am going to put in some butter to my hot skillet again. Get around that butter. And I just wiped out my skillet. I didn't wash it because from the topping because it's flavorful. All right. Okay. And then I have some raisins. You can chop them if you like. I'm just going to keep them whole. And brown the raisins. Well, they're not really browning. I'm just adding right now. Nothing to really brown except for the butter. Okay, now it goes my brown sugar and molasses. Oh, it's gooey. All right, and I need to add a little spot of water. Just a little, just enough to break up that brown sugar. For now, I'm going to be adding more in a minute. Just kind of like to do things kind of, whoop, lucky me. Didn't get the handle. All right, slowly, slowly stirring. Getting everything melted together as I do this. Okay. Keep my temperature up. All right. Next step is some spice. Always gotta have some spice. It's the holidays. So you can have traditional desserts or you can have desserts that your family loves to eat. Okay, that's in. Lemon juice. And now, the apples. It did the darkest. All right, so I want to show you the crumble. It was too hot a little while ago to, and so there's some that kind of little candied. You can do the same thing with nuts too. The honey, you can use honey instead of brown sugar and save you a couple of dollars maybe making it yourself. Because most of the ingredients that I have here can make several recipes. So the only thing I spend extra money on is maybe garnish, maybe. Okay, so that's that. It was cool enough to break it up. So I am going to continue to kind of fry, if you will, my apples until most of that liquid goes away and the apples are tender. And we'll be back. All right, we're back. Well, it's time to assemble our spiced apple dessert. So here I have, now these are not fully cooked, they're semi-cooked. And there's some of the broth the apple goodness. And I'm going to put this, okay, so I need to put a part of my crumble at the bottom and shake it around. And now I'm going to start putting, I don't want to have too much cleanup. Looks pretty good. Hope you find my recipe and that you make it. So get all these apples, and for the holidays, if you like to make this, you can also add some orange peel in there. That would be good. You could actually take this apple part that I just made and put it into some Jell-O, make kind of an aspic, I guess. Well, maybe aspics for vegetables, not sure. Anyway, I got that in there, and now I want to make sure that's off. Go ahead and we're on, I don't know how much, if I'm blocking that beautiful sauce. I hope I'm able to lift this up through the years. I'll probably have to hire me a sous chef. All right. Put this over here for cleanup. Yes, cleanup. And here's that one piece that went overboard. I didn't see that. Out of sight, out of mind. All right. And so now the rest of the crumble. And I'll save some for garnish. And then we'll just, so far, I'm going to put it in my oven. And I have it set for 325 for 15 minutes. And add 25 degrees and 10 minutes more for your oven, or until the topping is brown and it's bubbly. Okay, we'll be back to serve. Hello and welcome back. Well, it's time to assemble our dessert. Take a spoon. Okay, better put it over here. And I'll spoon a little bit of our apple there with a little bit of that raisin. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit of our honey topping. And it's rich. There we go. And then I have our caramel sauce. I'll put just a little bit of it. I guess you could call this a parfait. Right? It's a parfait, right, Christopher? Put your thumbs up. Come on, you can do it. And then just a little bit of crunch right in there. All right, and then one more time. Now I'm making these bigger servings just to show you how pretty. But this can serve 4 people, so you wouldn't want to put too much sugar in their bodies at once. Okay. The raisins and apples. And these aren't mushy. They're not crunchy, but they have a bite to them. All right. And so then the last part, I'll put a big dollop right on the top. And over the top of that goes some caramel. Let's see if I can get it to do kind of nicely. Not so clumpy. Alright. And then put a little bit of the crumbs over that. And then, right on the top, this is a little pinch of cinnamon or apple pie spice or whatever you want to put on there. And there you have it, a nice little parfait. All right, now guess what I get to do for you? I get to test it out to make sure that it's going to be what you want to make. But everybody's palate is different. So let me get a little bit of that cream, some apple, some of that crunch, and the caramel. Oh boy. Mm. I'm chewing up that good apple. A little bit tart, a little bit sweet. That's why I chose the 2. The Granny Smith has the offsets that too sweet of a dessert with that sweeter golden delicious. This is wonderful. It's a little bit hot, so you can see that it's melting some. So if you want, you can chill this before you put it together. Well, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe. Click that bell and share this video with your family and friends. So, for every step of the way, we'll see you next time. Goodbye, and God bless.